Hello and welcome to the program. Well, this afternoon we've seen hundreds of protesters on the streets demonstrate against the E-Levy, calling it much more of a disincentive to the investiture as well as their trade and enterprise. Meanwhile, the Center for Economics and Inequality Studies, CEFIS, has commenced a survey into the controversial 1.75 electronic transactions levy that government seeks to slap on mobile money transactions and some bank charges. As you may be aware, the levy, which is currently at the mercies of Parliament, has been met with stiff opposition from a section of Ghanaians. Of course, it is against this backdrop that CEFIS has moved to sample the thoughts of Ghanaians on why or otherwise they will accept to pay tax on their mobile money transactions. Thankfully, we're joined via Zoom by the Executive Director of CEFIS, Dr. Benjamin Amwa, on this. We're grateful, Dr. that you could join us. First of all, what informed your decision to conduct this survey?
Thank you very much for having me. For about 4 months now, following the budget statement from the Minister of Finance, we have been having various views on the E-Levy. And we at the Center for Economics, Finance and Inequality Studies and other researchers from the University of Environment and Sustainable Development have thought it wise to do a scientific survey to look at what Ghanaians feel and what Ghanaians think should be done as far as the E-Levy is concerned. So that is basically what is leading us to go into this research, to also add a scientific approach to the discussion.
Interesting. But what methodology are you applying to this research?
We are basically using the online survey method, where we've designed an electronic survey instrument. We are reaching as many Ghanaians as we can over a 1-week period to assess their views and what they think about the proposed E-Levy.
Well, tell us about the sample size, of the population that you're going to be exploring in this research.
We are looking at any number above 1,000. And this 1,000 is conditioned on Yaman's concept that if you can have a scientific statistical methodology that can give you a sample size of 400, irrespective of the size of the population. In that the approach is scientific, then any number more than 400 is scientific enough for us to draw a conclusion. So we are using that methodology. And once we get 1,000 or more after a week, we think that we are good to go to gauge the response of Ghanaians concerning the electronic levy.
Great, but how are you ensuring that this survey is void of bias, considering the political twist the issue has taken in recent times?
Absolutely, this is a genuine concern, and thank you very much for this question. That risk exists, that it is possible that there may be some infiltrations. Nonetheless, we are going to guard against that, and we'll make sure that the views that we have reflect the views of the respondent. This is something that is dear to Ghanaians. So it will be a bit strange to assume that a group of individuals may want to infiltrate into the system to bias the opinion and views. We are gauging against that, and we are also trying as much as we can to make sure that we reach out to independent individuals who will give us a good and fair opinion based on the questions that we have asked.
And of course, as you embark on this particular research, we're going to be interested in finding out when it shall be published, especially as well as whether or not there are plans to get government buy-in on the subject matter.
We will definitely do that. We will share with media houses, we will share with the government, and we'll also make sure that we have a scientific outlook by way of an academic publication out of this research work. So definitely all the stakeholders involved will have a look at the report when it is ready.
Even as you examine public acceptance or the other way around when it comes to the E-Levy, we're seeing today protests on the streets against the E-Levy by a section of the trading community together with some political figures of the opposition NDC. How does this inform, your research moving forward?
Thank you. It's one of a piece of information that policymakers must consider. For us as researchers, we are looking at what we can also do scientifically to back the discussion that has been going on so far. So it is good that other individuals in the societies who have an opinion have decided to use the demonstration approach, which is their fundamental right to use. But then we as researchers believe that in as much as a group can use their demonstration right to send a message across, we believe that a scientific method can also add to the scientific discussion that is going on. So we will wait, and then when we get our report, we will then see whether our report supports the demonstration or otherwise. So we are appealing that as many as will have access to our survey instrument, they should respond to it, and we'll share the report just as we will get it when we are done collecting the data.
Great. Dr. Benjamin Amoah, Executive Director of the Center for Economics and Inequality Studies, CEFIS. We're grateful for your time on that particular research. We shall be looking forward to the results.